Pope Francis calls for civil union law for same-sex couples, in shift from Vatican stance.
Here's a summary of the article.
In a documentary that premiered Wednesday in Rome, Pope Francis called for the passage of civil union laws for same-sex couples, departing from the position of the Vatican's doctrinal office and the Pope's predecessors on the issue. And in comments likely to spark controversy among Catholics, Pope Francis weighed in directly on the issue of civil unions for same-sex couples. Featuring interviews with Vatican figures including Cardinal Louis Tagle and other collaborators of the Pope, Francesco looks at the Pope's advocacy for migrants and refugees, the poor, his work on the issue of clerical sexual abuse, the role of women in society, and the disposition of Catholics and others toward those who identify as LGBT. The film addresses the pastoral outreach of Pope Francis to those who identify as LGBT, including a story of the pontiff encouraging two Italian men in a same-sex relationship to raise their children in their parish church, which, one of the men said, was greatly beneficial to his children. Filmmaker Evgeny Afinevsky told CNA that the Pope made his call for civil unions during an interview the documentarian conducted with the Pope. The Pope's direct call for civil union laws represents a shift from the perspective of his predecessors, and from his own more circumspect positions on civil unions in the past. In the 2013 book On Heaven and Earth, Pope Francis did not reject the possibility of civil unions outright, but did say that laws assimilating homosexual relationships to marriage are an anthropological regression, and he expressed concern that if same-sex couples are given adoption rights, there could be affected children. Every person needs a male father and a female mother that can help them shape their identity. The documentarian said he began working with the Vatican to produce a film on Pope Francis in 2018, and was given unprecedented access to Pope Francis until filming completed in June, amid Italy's coronavirus lockdowns.
This post received a score of 36,000, with an upvote ratio of 89%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Like the church or not, this is a pretty important step forward. I know I'm going to get swamped with "it's not the church's business anyway" and "this would have been progressive decades ago," but the fact that the head of the largest religious denomination in the world is making a concession like this to LGBT+ rights would have been unthinkable even 10 years ago. And I know that the Church has a long way to go on LGBT+ rights as well as other issues, but progress is progress and it's worth celebrating before we go back to more news about how screwed humanity is.
The Catholic Church was still saying Mass in Latin less than 60 years ago. It moves slowly. People should not underestimate this step, even if they feel it's too late.
The Church thinks in centuries. A quote I always remember from Spotlight.
But what good is leadership from a church that is 100 years behind?
Like it or not, that church is central to hundreds of millions of people's lives. And as leader of that church, the Pope has a lot of power and influence. Not saying it's right, but that's reality.
Exactly that. And shifting mindsets on that scale is neither a quick nor an easy thing to do, but this is a major step forward. What leaders preach, both good and bad, has a lot of weight, even regardless of their actual actions. Damn. The Catholic Church is now more progressive than some members of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Right. More crazy for 2020, but good crazy this time.
Churches hate him. Click here to find out why.
Supporting LGBT+ rights with this one weird trick.
As a Catholic, this news makes me happy. I'm not a Catholic, and this makes me happy too. This Pope we have right now, he really seems to be an okay guy. Easily the best Pope in the last 100 years. Man had a hard time with the dictatorship in Argentina and is now helping the church progress despite having that background. Hey, Argentinian here. I am very proud of El Papa Francisco, he has really been a progressive symbol all over the world. Although I have to admit that he had made a lot of mistakes, he was in favor of the dictatorship that killed 30,000 people in Argentina back in the 80s. Also in 2010 he voted against the same marriage law here. In Chile in 2013 there was a big denouncement against an archbishop of pedophilia charges and Francisco defended him, and in 2018 he asked for sorry. Anyways, happy to see a pope that actually reflects the values that Jesus wanted to teach us: comprehension, kindness, empathy and love. He certainly bounced back and is taking the church into the 21st century.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.